board, and I'm here with my good friend Kenny Calderone. How are you, Kenny? Are you doing well? You've got the little magical wheel of death going on there. As a quick introduction, so my name is Will Playton, and I'm an illustrator, and Kenny Calderone is the same. We are also teachers, and together we do a live stream together. We try to do it each week, but sometimes life gets in the way with things. But we are moving through with this challenge, our Masters of the Universe, 52 characters, and we are up to Teela. So what we try to do with this is we try to do a reimagining of a property that started as toys. And I know there's been lots and lots of, I suppose, characters and painters that have put these characters in situations and also do the same sort of thing. But we are doing it with our own sort of little style and trying to keep some of the vibrancy of the toys, but also giving them a bit of a realm to be amongst. But also, on a side note, it's really about us working on improving our skills and challenging ourselves each week to do something different. We try to work without reference. We try to build our worlds so that they feel convincing and have a good time in the doing so. So welcome if you're joining us for the first time. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channels, to both Kenny and I. That always helps us along the way as well. And so here we are. I'm just going to go to our little list here just so you can see where we are up to if you are joining us for the first time. And please let us know in the comments. Give us a big hello, and then we know who's with us today. So you can see on our list here, we're getting along there, which is awesome. Hey, Chris, it's good to see you. Chris is joining us. He's one of our awesome regulars that jump on, and an awesome artist as well. If you see Chris Borman online, jump on and follow him as well. So you can see we're moving along. We've done quite a few. We're in Teela now. I expect that Kenny and I will probably get to the point where we are nearly completed with Teela, and then we're going to move into Zodak, which will be super interesting. And then we've got Evil Lynn. We've got Faker. I can't wait to do that one. Many Faces. He's going to be fun. Ram Man, Trapjaw, and Triclops. And that will complete our first phase of our Masters of the Universe, that first row, which is going to be super exciting. And then we're going to move down to the next one. So that's awesome. So as we go along, we're going to keep trying to progress our themes and our styles and try to get to that point. So you can see on my Teela, like I've established that pencil drawing of Teela. I've lightened it up. I've got her in a sort of a semi-battle scene here with the battle ram plowed into the ground, and she's in a warrior pose there, ready to go. So Kenny's trying to jump in. I'm just going to quickly message him as we go. So today we're going to try and get some more layers of gouache down, and hopefully get to the point where we're just doing finishing touches next time around. That's my hope for it all. Right, so here's our references we used, and we've got the original package design for Teela on the left there with her sorcerer's cobra outfit, which is, I love that outfit. I went with more of a traditional animated Teela. Excuse me. And then we've got the mini comics Teela there with He-Man ripping the door off. That sketch above that is the original Mark Taylor drawing of Teela. Mark Taylor was one of the original designers for Masters of the Universe. And then, of course, on the right-hand side, we've got that beautiful sideshow statue. They've done a really nice run of it. And they've done everything from Stratos to Skeletor to He-Man to Teela. So, yeah, they've done some really, really cool ones. So let's take all that down. Let's bring it back to a bit of painting. So mission now is I want to probably finalize some of these flesh tones. And of course, like most things, I don't know if you're like that if you're doing art. And Chris, I'm sure you're like this too. It's the ever evolving state of the painting where you are readjusting and shifting things as you're going. For example, I might say, well, I want that area a bit smaller, a bit slimmer, a bit larger, whatever it might be as I'm going. And sometimes for me, it's never obvious until I've actually started to get toned down, and then it kind of jumps straight out to me. So yeah, it starts to get evident to me that that's what needs to happen. Kenny's just messaged me. He's just restarting everything, and he's just jumping on in a second. So we're going to fly on through. So Kenny, while I'm mixing up paint, do the same, and we'll see you in a minute. And Chris, while I'm also doing that, let us know what you're up to at the moment. I know you are creating all the time. Let us know what project you're on at the moment. Talk me through your process. What movie you went and saw today? I know there was one. Alrighty, so let me get my palette ready. Alright. Tiger's over there. Alrighty, so let's get on to this Teela painting. So I'm just wondering too, I'm just thinking maybe we've got the smoke from her crash battle ram here. Let me adjust that a bit. I'm wondering whether that could maybe ease up a bit through here, and you can see my brain's already starting to move into that point of imagining I'm in that environment, which is important. That's what we do. We get into that realm of being in the room with the artwork, and that always helps you to build it as a convincing 3D environment, is when you can place yourself there in that realm as well. So I've just put down a little bit of raw sienna. I always want to say burnt sienna, but it's raw sienna. That always helps mix up my skin tones. I have a bit of rose as well, or magenta. I always do get a bit of burnt sienna as well, and a bit of Prussian blue. All right, so Chris says, not much painting sweet today. Went sort of 40th anniversary, showing the last stuff. But wow, that's an oldie but a goodie. 40 years. Gee whiz. 40 years. I saw someone post the other day that it's been 20 years since the finale for Friends. I was like, oh my God, what? I feel like I'm jumping through massive timelines. What is going on? All right, so just trying to mix my palette up. And I've got now my Prussian blue and my black. You got that. So I'll just show you. Here we go. So I'm just throwing these colors down like so. This is a palette my daughter gives me, so it's got little love hearts and messages all over it. But you can see I can separate my white a little bit. I think I'm going to put in a little bit of cadmium red and yellow, perhaps even maybe a bit of orange in there as well. And that will just help me get some of those really nice glowing sort of glowing pigments in her skin. Because I've got all of the legs to do, whack all that in. And usually if I get, the process is if I can usually get at least my skin tones and features done, it usually dries pretty quick after that. Sort of it just starts to fly. And so, oh, by the way, Chris, how was the last Starfighter after? Has it been a while since you've seen it? Did it exist okay, or was it one of these things you're watching it? Oh. It was the first movie to use full CGI. Really? I didn't even know that. Yeah, right. 4 years ago. Well, yeah, I guess so. That would put it right in the Star Wars realm too, wouldn't it? I wonder if they were trying to use the same industrial light and magic technology, where they had the moving camera rather than the actual stop motion, or the miniature moving. They actually move the camera. Kenny Calderone, how are you?
I'm well. I'm well. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone in the stream right now.
So we got Chris. I know we got Chris here. Chris is in the
Very,
room,
very nice. Very
and we've
nice.
done a little bit of a recap, like a previously on Back to the Drawing Board. We just went through what our intention was and what we've been doing, um, and uh, and I've just been sort of mixing my palette up. I was just showing everyone how I've been throwing my palette together for today. Ready to go because you're quite a bit ahead of me. Because remember, I had to redraw it.
That's right.
And we got Lance Stewart in the room. How are you, Lance?
What's up, Lance?
We are doing great. How are you? So it's been a minute, Kenny. It's been a minute. We've had busy weeks, haven't we?
That it has. That it has. It's been a very, very busy set of weeks. Just playing catch up, doing the family thing.
Yep.
My stepson is playing basketball.
Yep.
So that's kind of time consuming, taking them to practices and games, and trying to. I'm still looking for the happy medium between the work life balance.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to achieve it, but
I didn't want to say anything, but it's the quest.
Yeah, let's be real. Let's be real. Right?
Yes. I mean, I think that's the journey for most people that have something that emotionally consumes you, like art. It's like you think, well, it's that constant need to. I've got to get back to the table and back to the drawing board, and I've got to perfect this and battle that and win that, and then there's the euphoric addiction when you do achieve that. You just want to do more of it. So then the love of the family. You're in this conflict all the time. It's interesting, isn't it?
That it is.
I don't think it ever goes away. I think that's been an age-old battle.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
How are things on your end?
About the same. I've just been really busy and just trying to, what it's like. We're trying to get some things done, and I was pretty excited this week. We had the Topps Chrome Galaxy Star Wars cards came out, so I was finally able to put things up that I've done.
Congrats on that.
Thanks, man. And it's been well received, which is nice. Like some of the cards have been pulled, and we've had a lot of collectors have been excited. So
that's what should.
Fun. It's fun because I think I didn't realize, but it must have been a while since these things have come out. So look, because that's how much I know. I'm sort of fairly new to that world, but so it's all been good. But doing that and just keeping teaching and being busy.
Yeah.
So it's been one of those times. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, dude. Like, dude, you ate that Star Wars setup.
Like a Calderon sandwich.
100%, dude. Like, you did your thing on that. I think that's easily some of your best work.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Like, it's easily in the top 5.
It was a good thing to sort of stretch your muscles with a deadline because it was tight. Like, I mean, I only had a couple of weeks to do those 50 cards, so it was pretty tricky. But it's always satisfying to get on the other side of it, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah. So we got a lot of news. A lot of things been going on the last couple of weeks, Kenny. I've been busting at the seams.
we got lots of stuff to talk about.
I've been busting at the seams to hear your opinion.
So let's start with, I guess, the most recent thing, right?
Well, hang on a second. Hang on. We'll segue to the news. You ready? Now go.
I love it. Right. So I finally got a chance to binge the Cape Crusader.
Oh, good. Yep.
Okay. And I have some thoughts.
Excellent.
I have thoughts. right? I thought that the writing was great.
Yeah.
John Cook, morning, gentlemen. The art is looking banging. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you, John, and thank you for popping in on the stream, sir.
Always welcome to be amongst us. It's good fun. More the merrier.
Indeed. So, Cape Crusader.
Yeah.
I love that it was nostalgic in the aspect of, Batman the animated series.
Yeah.
But I love that it was also its own thing.
Yes.
I love that they leaned heavily into more of a noir aesthetic,
Yeah.
that
Yes.
1920s, 1930s aesthetic.
Yeah.
And they eliminated a lot of the high-tech aspects that we saw in Batman the animated series,
Yes.
right? The
Yep.
computers and communicators and all that.
Yes.
I really, really dug that.
Yeah.
I
did
did
too.
love a lot of the redesigns too for the characters. I think the most unsettling one was Two-Face.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I
I'm going to
think
say I have my opinion on him too, but I agree with you. I love the that big sleep feeling of it. Like felt like Humphrey Bogart was going to step out of one of those cars.
100%.
It just felt like, they even did details like the gun and the licenses underneath the dashboards, like the old cars in the 40s had.
Yes.
The aesthetic of it, I think, was spot on.
Oh, it was so good. I thought it was really, really good.
It reminded me why Batman worked so well back then.
Right.
And I guess it highlights maybe some of the issues they have today, like why they probably find it hard to get Batman, keeping him secret.
True.
Yeah.
True. And in this day and age, no one's gonna. Well, I brought this up. No one's gonna ask questions.
Yeah. We previous issues we talked about ordering all your face masks from Temu. Like, I mean, how's everyone going to know? Like, someone's not tracking this stuff. Like,
And based on what I saw with the Cape Crusader, I'm gonna say this live on stream.
Do it.
They should absolutely do a shadow animated series.
Oh God, yes, yes.
Absolutely do a shadow animated series. It 100% can work.
I would love to see in that 40s film noir pulp environment a Defenders of the Earth remake.
Ooh, yes.
With Flash Gordon and Phantom and
oof.
And Lance is out. He's gone. He's tapped out.
He's gone.
He's gone. She's gone. I don't know.
That's for popping in, Lance.
That was like drive-through.
That's it.
Had his Happy Meal. He's out the door.
That's it.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, man.
The Phantom.
I didn't mind the female penguin.
No, I didn't either. I didn't have an issue with that.
I didn't mind that at all. I did take issue with I think it was Bruce Timm.
Yeah.
That said it when they asked him, why did you change the penguin's gender?
Yeah.
And he said that Batman doesn't have a lot of really good female villains.
What?
Yeah. My sentiments exactly. I'm like, what?
Or did he mean probably not enough? Not enough.
To his credit, I want to say he meant not enough.
Yeah. Because there are some great ones, but yeah, there's probably not a huge amount like to balance that out, I guess. But
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Cape Crusader was outstanding. Voice acting was on point. The character designs were very creative. Like I mentioned, I particularly liked the Two-Face redesign because I felt like the redesign for Two-Face like made him more unsettling.
It did, yeah. I still kind of wanted a bit of colorization on the burn side though.
Right.
I just wanted that a little bit more, like to have a flesh tint.
Right.
But yeah, it's great.
I feel like the flesh like grounds it more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I meant, I
like
guess,
you
around where the
associate it
holes.
more with like, with a deformity,
Yeah, he literally looked dead on that side of the face.
Mm-hmm.
But I still can't get past the episode of Clayface. That was still my favorite.
Yes, easily one of my favorite episodes in the whole series, the Clayface
Yeah,
episode.
it was very strong.
Very, very well written. Kudos to them, man. Like they
Yeah,
really, really did their thing on that. And I hope to see more in the future. So, segueing into more superhero stuff, Deadpool and Wolverine,
yeah,
right? Aside from shattering their way into the billion-dollar club
that's amazing.
in box office revenue, Ryan Reynolds calls for Wesley Snipes to do a final Blade film.
Yes, I heard that. Yeah,
So I had this discussion with my 13-year-old stepson, right?
yeah.
I was picking him up from school, and I said to him, "Hey, would you be interested in
Look,
going to go watch Wolverine and Deadpool?"
yeah.
And he kind of giggled and looked at me and was like, like he looked at me a little confused because he knows it's a rated R movie, right?
Those awkward sex scenes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, it's me. Don't worry about it. You know,
It's okay. It's okay.
it's all right. It's me,
It's all
right? And
right. We'll explain it later.
he's like, I've never seen any of the other ones, right? But I've seen a lot of stuff online. And I'm like, no, I'm sure you have,
Yeah.
because like the socials have been clamoring a lot of the cameos and
Right. Yeah.
a lot of the story beats and such. So, in the conversation, we got to talking about Wesley Snipes,
Uh-huh.
right? And I'm like, because I want to see how Wesley Snipes came out, like in the movie with his
Yeah.
cameo as Blade. And
Right.
he's like, "Who's Blade?" I said, "Excuse
What?
me."
What?
So I said, "Listen,
Get out the car.
tonight, get everything done. We're gonna order some food.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch the first Blade movie."
And you will understand who Chris Christopherson is, and then we're going to watch the Blade movie. Yeah.
Exactly. So he's like, "Is
Oh
it
man.
like a scary movie?" Because you know what I'm saying. He's 13. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gauging like his tolerance level by asking him certain questions, right? Because obviously the Blade movies, with the exception for the last one,
Yeah.
are really bloody, very gory,
Yes.
right? But the action,
Lots of exploding
yeah,
blood
you know what I
packets of
mean.
blood balloons. Yeah.
Oh,
They love it. They love it. You
and,
know?
I'm kind of gauging him because at the same time, I don't want to be the reason why he has nightmares. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
because I know he's not big on scary movies.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, it's a vampire movie, but it's basically an action movie in a horror environment.
It's
Is the
probably a
best way I
soft.
can describe it to him,
It's a soft
right?
entry though, isn't it? It's a soft entry to vampire films. Like you're not talking about 30 Days of Night.
No, oh no, oh no.
You know, oh, that's a little different.
That's advanced. That's that's advanced levels, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so he was totally down. So we watched the original Blade movie. He
right.
absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Right?
Awesome.
Yeah. So like now, when he comes back, because he's with his dad today. So when he
Yeah.
comes back tomorrow, we're gonna watch Blade 2.
He said, Kenny, let me watch a rated R. Hey, Dad.
But that makes me the cool stepdad. You know what I'm saying? That makes me the cool stepdad.
What was
Right?
Deadpool referencing, Dad, when he said to his girlfriend?
You know what I mean? That
Awkward conversations.
Chris Borman says, I read that the F word was used 119 times in the MCU, once in Guardians, and 118 times in Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes. Yes. I mean, look, we've been kids. We know what it's like in middle school. I used to cuss like a sailor when I was 13 in school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know we're not breaking new ground. I'd rather, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if it was even with my son Dominic, I'd rather he do it in front of me with me than behind my back and try, you know what I mean, and be sneaky. You know what I'm saying?
Like a sailor.
Yeah. Well, maybe not like a sailor, but in moderation, right? In moderation.
I just keep getting those flashes of that Hail Caesar movie where there's no dames at sea. Dance routine happening.
Yes.
One of the funniest scenes in film.
Indeed. If you know, you know, people. If you know, you know.
Oh, man.
Right? So that's very, very exciting because I know that Wesley, in his bid for continuing to play the character, he was very unhappy with Blade Trinity, right? Because he had a different vision entirely. And that vision, he expressed it in the novel that he wrote called Talon of God.
Right. Okay.
Right? Which basically Talon of God was supposed to be
what
the continuation to the Blade saga.
Well, wait a second, because Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 3, wasn't he?
He was. And there was this whole speculation that Ryan and Wesley hated each other, and that Wesley was hard to work with, what have you. But when they got into the talks in putting together the Wolverine and Deadpool movie, Wesley was among the list of actors that Ryan personally reached out to be a part of the film.
Yeah.
And people like raved so much about seeing like Wesley's reprisal of the character in the film that now they're like, we need another Blade movie.
Yeah.
With Wesley.
It's excited him again. Yeah.
And I fully support this because no knock on Mahershala Ali. He's a great actor.
Right.
But I feel like Blade Trinity wasn't a good end cap,
right,
to the Blade saga.
Chris Borman says he also had a vision of not paying his taxes. I've had that vision, Chris. I've thought, one day, wouldn't that be amazing?
One day.
Chris Borman keeping it real, bringing us home, grounding us.
This time it wasn't me. It wasn't you. It was Chris this time.
It's Chris.
Chris, you got to keep the gloves up, Chris. We need it above the belt. Right? So, moving along, the book of Boba Fett season 2.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Has been announced, and there's a trailer floating around on the interweb.
For real?
Yes. So, I've seen it. I haven't seen enough to make a judgment on it.
Yeah. What did you think of Book of Boba Fett, the series?
So, I thought that the Book of Boba Fett made Boba Fett look and feel weak.
Mm.
Because it's like, essentially, for lack of a better term, we got blue-balled into expecting Boba Fett to be this like badass bounty hunter, right? The way they built him up in Star Wars.
Yeah.
How like they feared him, how he was, you know what I'm saying? Like they built him up in such a way that like I'm expecting the Book of Boba Fett to be on par or better than
Yeah.
Mandalorian was.
Right. I
And
agree.
it was subpar.
Yeah.
Except for when, when we got the crossover with Mandalorian.
Right.
In like
Yeah.
episode 6 or something.
There was some good. I felt that there was some cool parts to it.
Yes.
And I don't know whether that is just me being nostalgic for the 80s and Return of the Jedi and things like that. But I
Right.
loved seeing Bib Fortuna in the throne. I thought that was cool. I loved
Yes.
Jabba's palace. All of that's cool. I got a bit done with the flashbacks in the tank all the time. I thought this is getting a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of, for me, I don't know if you felt this way, but after you go from The Mandalorian to then watching Book of Boba, it felt like it was it felt like it went from cinematic to daytime TV.
Yes.
Like everything felt small. Everything felt small. It felt like, oh, let's make a busy town, but it's not really a busy town. It's like there's like 50 people walking past at the same time, and it just felt like it was contained to this set that just seemed tiny. Like I just thought, yeah, I don't know, like I kind of wanted, I wanted to see him in Slave One out there doing his thing,
Yes.
I probably would have liked a prequel of Boba before, like Empire Strikes Back era Boba Fett.
Same,
And give me Dengar
cool
and give me IG-88 and give me all of those dudes on the Imperial Star Destroyer that were lined up with him, Forlom and Zuckuss and all those guys hanging out. I want to see what that's like.
Exactly. Like
that interested me more.
For Boba to ultimately turn into like this crime boss.
Yeah.
And no, like give us the bounty hunter, bro. Like, give us the like show us why Boba was so revered and feared at the same time.
All right, I'm not really interested in Tony Soprano Boba Fett.
Right.
Like he's walking around with the mask off, giving the slow movements, the eyebrows up every 5 seconds. But Tony without the violence.
Yeah. No, I'm good, man. Give me the OG Boba.
Yeah.
John Cook says, what did you think of the Acolyte?
Oh, that's another whole can of worms, isn't it?
All right, you got to take the helm on this one because I didn't see it.
Well, let's see. Again, it felt like it was on a set all the time. Like it felt contained, even the forest scenes. I just think they had a good premise. I think the idea of a Jedi killer that was out there hunting down the Jedi, that it was from the Sith perspective. I thought, yeah, man. I thought this sounds good. But I just don't think it delivered. Like I think the villain was great. I think fantastic. But I got to the end of it. I just I wanted to care more, but I just didn't care less. I was like, yeah, cool. I'm not really invested in these characters. Like I wanted to be. They weren't relatable for me. Like I guess it's a tricky thing. I mean, Star Wars, because it's so mythology based, and you've really got to understand the source material of where George Lucas came up with all of these things. And it's not just about Kurosawa, but it's also about a philosophy of universal understanding. And he did a lot of that. The Force, it flows through us, it binds us together, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I keep feeling like Disney they want to keep firing off the arrows, but they don't have anything in the quiver because they don't know that part. I might be wrong, but that just feels like it is to me. And the Acolyte to me was like, you had a good idea, but you just didn't focus on that. Now, if you'd given me an entire season of 40-minute episodes, not bloody 18 minutes or whatever it was in some of them, if you gave me a eight episodes, 40 minutes each, entirely from the Sith perspective, I would have gobbled that up.
Easily.
I would have gobbled it up. If you just given me that where it was talking about, like at their secret base and talking about the religion of what they're doing and how it's growing and how they wielded the dark side and some insight because they
Right.
gave away some great reveals at the end. But if a season 2 is never renewed for that, it's empty. Like if you're gonna reveal Palpatine's master at the end, which they did, but then he's not in the entire season. Except for the last episode where you just see him creeping around a corner.
Right.
That's kind of revealing Dracula without actually having Dracula in the film. Like, it's give me some real peril, right?
Right.
Some real fear. Yeah, because I mean, I guessed all the way through that the bad guy with the black mask was not the big bad guy. That he was an apprentice, right? And so the apprentice was seeking the acolyte for him.
Right.
But I can see what they were trying to do, but I just feel like, can you just get some people that can direct cinematically instead of getting these directors that are auteurs or off YouTube or wherever they're getting these, great documentaries. That's cool, man. But you're doing Star Wars. Like, you really need to understand cinematography, and I don't know. Look, it's not my role.
You're right. With Star Wars, you got to come correct.
I'm not a filmmaker, but I know what it feels like when I do watch a film. Like, you feel like there's a universal depth in the film. Like, you can walk for weeks and not find something. Like when Luke gets up, when you hear the music and he gets up and he's facing the twin sun setting, and you hear the music playing, and you feel that farm boy longing to be out in the universe on adventure. You feel that because George knew how to portray that. Right? He knew how to do that. Like when Obi-Wan and Luke are standing on that hill overlooking Mos Eisley Cantina, when they're like, you'll never see a more wretched hive. Like when they're doing that, you felt like it was such an expansive land.
Yep.
It didn't feel so claustrophobic. I just felt, you had opportunities and it just didn't land. Like, I don't understand a lot of the characters in that show, and I was like, I don't know, what is this? What are we doing here?
Right.
But then I don't know what happens behind scenes. I don't know whether Leslie Headland was given like a directive, you've got to include this, 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 and this, and this, make it happen, or whether they're making changes along the way. I don't know. I'm not in those rooms. All I can talk about is the end product, and it just didn't feel as good, as strong a story as like season 1 of Mandalorian. Do you know what I mean?
Easily.
Where I could get my head around that. It was like watching a Western. But this one here is like, I'm not even sure what is even this. Like, I mean, if you're going to take it from the angle of the Sith, I want horror.
Easily.
Horror, and it
I would totally be on board for that, because obviously, in a lot of the Star Wars media that we've seen up to this point, we always get the perspective of the Republic, the Jedi. We hardly get a peek at I guess the culture of the Sith.
Yeah.
We don't get too much of that in a lot of the media, unless you're playing the video games.
Right. Yes. Like if you did a Knights of the Old Republic or something where they go to I think that it was a grand, like I said, I don't know how many cooks are jumping in the kitchen when she's trying to do something there, but I just think it was a massive missed opportunity. It felt like I was living through someone doing a role-playing game,
right?
Where kind of like, yeah, this is fun, but it lacked that cinematic depth that you think this should win awards, that kind of feeling,
right? That epic, quality. I got you.
Yeah, and Star Wars should be the living example of the best.
Of course,
it was growing up. Like if you went to a perfect trilogy, it was that 4, 5, 6 episodes, like a character arc, the hero's journey, all that Joseph Campbell stuff. It was perfect, but I don't know. I just think, this is my opinion, only. I just think until they start to really evaluate what it is they're doing, have a plan forward, I just think they're going to keep having losses like this. I just don't know.
hitting their faces against the wall because
man, and which is sad for me because I want Star Wars to be incredible. Like me, I'm a big Star Wars guy.
Same.
But I want it to be good. I want these things to succeed. I watch everything, and I watch everything nearly twice. The old stuff I've watched 1,000,000,000 times, but I just kind of I want it. I don't know. Sometimes I sit back and go, "Is this just the old man in me? Like, do I just want it to be like Luke, Han, and Leia?" But I think it's not. I think it's not. I just want it to be good,
Yeah.
But anyway, but look, the villain looked good. He had some great acting in it. He acted really well. But again, if you're going to do things for 8 episodes or 9 episodes, or whatever it was, you've got to wrap some stuff up, man. Like, you don't know if you're going to get a season 2. Chris Borman says The Acolyte finished stronger than it started, but it was still disappointing. I am looking forward to Andor. Andor season 1 was pretty good. I don't know if you saw that, Kenny. Did you watch that one?
I haven't, but I hear really good things. I got commissioned to do a couple of Andor pieces.
That's right. Yeah.
It sparked a lot of my interest in checking out the show.
Yeah, and I think Andor, it was interesting, like that idea of the beginnings of the rebellion.
Right.
I think was great, and I think it landed pretty good. Like in the end, I think out of all of it, it's it was directed by someone that was not a Star Wars guy, didn't proclaim to be a fan of anything, just made good film.
There it is.
Made good film, but interesting story, and see what season 2 looks like. They've got the Skeleton Crew that comes out. I think that's in December, I want to say as well. With Jude Law, and that's kind of like they call it an Amblin-esque, like Spielberg kind of thing, where it's like Goonies, where
I like it.
These kids. There's a trailer out, so I'm not revealing anything that's not out there. But these kids activate some sort of ship or old ship, and they go into hyperspace, and they don't know where they've landed. These kids have got to find their way back, and I think it looks like Jude's an ex-Jedi or something or other. But
interesting.
Seems to be a lot of Jedi in this universe that no one helped Luke. Like, what's going on?
You know what I mean?
Like, the dude's out there on his own.
They couldn't have been that scared.
Everyone's like, "Cool, dude. I've done my bit. You do yours." And I don't want to pause the game. I'm playing.
Yvette's in the room. Corvette.
The Corvette is here.
She is in the building. How's it going, Yvette?
It's too late, Yvette. We've already gone off the road a couple of times.
That's it. It was Chris's fault. It was Borman's fault. So, in cinematic news, the anime classic Ninja Scroll, one of my all-time favorite anime movies. This was my gateway anime.
Yes.
Okay, Ninja Scroll is getting a limited screening at AMC movie theaters in September in celebration of its 30th anniversary.
Wow, there you go.
30 years already, dude.
30 years. What is going on? What is going on?
And this guy, the writer director, Yoshiaki Kawajiri.
Well done.
This dude's genius.
Yeah.
Okay. He did Wicked City. Will, if you've never seen
Wicked City. I've seen Wicked City.
You've seen Wicked City?
Yeah.
That one right there put hair on my chest. All right. Wicked City put hair on my chest. Okay, and it had me looking at spiders a whole different way, right? Again, if you know, you know, right?
If you know, you know.
Yeah. So he did Wicked City, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which was a masterpiece.
Yes.
Right. Highlander Vengeance, which is a great film, in the Highlander universe.
Yeah.
And he's also the showrunner on Demon Slayer. Yes, so a lot of the villains and character designs come from Mr. Kawajiri.
Indeed.
So this dude, he's still in the game, and still putting out bangers.
He's doing it.
He's doing it, right? So then we have ooh in the upcoming amazing. This is in comics now. In the upcoming
Oh,
Amazing Spider-Man number 61 by Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness, Spider-Man will be tasked by Doctor Doom with saving the world from an evil god. Right now,
yeah.
why is this significant? Because it's going to take a very well-known aesthetic of Spider-Man and give it a little bit of a video game twist, right?
Right.
It basically, the suit that Doctor Doom will give him in order to battle this evil god, right, will require him to have 8 attempts at defeating this god. So basically, every time he dies, right, the spider symbol, the legs on the spider symbol will indicate how many lives he's got left.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Right? So, leave it up to Doctor Doom to
Yeah.
troll superheroes and turn them into his own, private video game avatars, right?
Isn't it funny that he's been left alone as a character for so long, and now he
For
seems to be
so
in everything?
long. And
I've always loved him,
him
but
sitting in the background just toiling because this is really what he does. He doesn't.
do you think a lot of this is because, no, I'm just guessing here, because I think the Marvel Cinematic area is going towards Secret Wars.
100%.
And he was a big player in that, if I remember.
100%. And I think no knock on the previous iterations of Doctor Doom, but
Yeah, well,
he's bigger. Yeah, well,
okay.
but but he's bigger than like being the villain of the week.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I get, the tie-in to the Fantastic Four, right? That total sense. Cool. He can still have the tie-in. But
you'll let him have it.
yeah, but like as like, in retrospect, looking at those movies, I would have done Mole Man.
Yes.
I would have done Annihilus.
Right.
You know
Absorbing
what I
Man.
mean? Absorbing Man was another great one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for them to have like a villain of the week, so they can have the slug fights in the middle of the streets in New York.
Yeah.
Go that route and have
Right.
Doctor Doom, build him up to be this powerhouse that's going to be like world threatening later.
The Grey Gargoyle.
Ooh, another classic. That was a deep cut. Grey Gargoyle. Woo.
You like that? It just came out of my brain.
I like the deep cut.
You do, yep. Now he's more of an Iron Man villain, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes,
but you know what? I think this is where I got a little bit disappointed in the Iron Man series. I felt like Doctor Doom is right up there with the Mandarin, and they failed the Mandarin. They failed it.
The Mandarin's another one, dude. He's like Bane. He's one of those characters that is a master tactician.
Yes.
He's like Doctor Doom light.
It just always reminded me of like Flash Gordon's Ming the Merciless. Like,
yes,
should have been like a real threat instead of this crazy actor that they downplayed. Like, that could have been awesome. The Rings,
100%. They totally dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah,
they absolutely dropped the ball on that one. So, circling back to Cape Crusader,
to Doctor Doom. Oh,
right.
Yep.
To Cape Crusader, right? I wanted to get your thoughts on the Nocturne episode.
That's the one with the girl, isn't it?
That's the one with the girl who was like the energy vampire.
Yeah.
Because
what my opinion is,
as a horror movie buff,
yeah,
scratch that. As a fellow horror movie buff,
yes,
right. I was curious to know your thoughts on that episode.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it felt short compared to the Basil Carlo Clayface one. I felt like it didn't quite land. that scariness. Although there was some pretty cool dark elements in that. Like I like the circus, and I think there's a tiny little Killer Croc cameo in there too. Yeah, like some dark elements, like she killed the brother. Like that was pretty full on. But yeah, I kind of like, yeah, what else? Like, can we do? What else are we doing here? Like, I mean, coming in cold with that character, I was like, what? Why is she doing this? Explain it more. Like,
right now,
what does it do for her? You know?
Do you think, in your opinion, do you think that the supernatural element, because that episode in particular, like, leaned heavy into the supernatural elements, right?
Right. Yep.
Do you think that the supernatural aspect that character brought to the Cape Crusader series, do you think that it felt a little bit out of place?
A little bit, but then you get Batman involved in Etrigan too, and that's right up there with Jason Blood and the demon Etrigan. So yeah, he's always kind of crossed into that a little bit, hasn't he? Like you get him involved in Constantine as well. In the books, he gets involved in Ra's al Ghul, and that's very much the supernatural stuff. So I guess and there's even been comics in the past where he's had a fight with Dracula. So
sure,
there's you do get a bit of that with Batman, but it's whether and that's where his involvement with Zatanna happens as well, where he gets involved in the Justice League Dark, that kind of stuff. But
I think what kind of made it a little jarring for me is that, like how you mentioned, we came in kind of cold on that.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing prior that alluded that anything supernatural existed in this universe.
Right. I think if I was going to do it, like I can see what Bruce Timm's trying to do. He's trying to put more the obscure ones in front and not play to you. Like he had Catwoman, which I love the original costume. I thought that was fantastic.
Right.
He had, Oswalda, which I think, again, like the death of a son, like that's pretty serious. She just like nodded it off like, meh, I thought that was pretty good. Meh. I thought all of that was pretty cool. Right. But I think if I was going to be doing the horror, which Clayface has always, to me, been a very scary character, like definitely.
Right.
But I would have done Man-Bat.
Man-Bat's a great character.
I wouldn't have done her. I would have done Man-Bat. And just because that whole idea that Dr. Langstrom experimenting gets taken over by this thing and loses his wife, and then he's, in the comics loses his wife, and I'm just thinking back to the Neil Adams series, which I loved as a kid. Loses his wife, and then his wife is injected, she becomes one too, and he can't handle that. Like that whole mixed ethics and morality, and you're going for the bad guy, you go for Batman, is it both? Like I think that would have played out as a way better story than Wednesday Addams walking through the circus killing kids. Like, and I thought they were dead, but then no, they're not dead. She's just draining their life force.
Right.
And it kind of went dark real quick. Like, oh, she goes, well, they don't ever have to wake up. And he's like, dude.
Chris Bowman says Kenny has to start watching Andor. There's going to be a quiz next week. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I've got homework, Will.
Yes. Chris Bowman's going to write a quiz. I love it.
I've got some homework.
Yes.
So with the Nocturne episode, I feel like, and I get it. It makes sense to bring a lot of the obscure characters into the forefront.
I did like at the end when he was carrying her off. I thought that was a nice, he understands monsters.
Right.
I thought that was a great thing. When the kid goes, just leave her. She's a monster. Let her burn. Like, no worries, kid. But he was like, no. Like, I think he empathizes with that inside of people that can be monstrous, because he is that. Like, he is something that is not. He's not Bruce Wayne.
Right.
He is the Batman all the time.
And that's one of the things that I really, really liked about the show. Right, the way they portrayed Bruce's mental health.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Because
and how
clearly
he
he's
has
gone.
straddled that line.
Like he's clearly gone. He's
Oh
gone.
yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
Now,
Because you even hear him when he's on the phone to Alfred and he says Bruce Wayne. He talks like Batman.
yeah, he was kind of a dick.
Yeah. So he puts on the hey, how you doing? You know,
Uh
that kind
huh.
of lighthearted, higher tenor
His,
voice.
his his customer service voice.
Yes. But even when he's talking to Dr. Quinzel, like he's like, I'm really good. Thanks, Doc, for helping me out. I'm good. I'm good. And she's like, no, you're not. But
Uh
anyway,
huh.
yeah, she figured him out.
Now, you are a big old school buff, as am I.
Yeah.
And I know that you have a really keen eye for these kind of things. Did you catch the King Tut Easter egg?
Yes. Yes, in the Harley Quinzel one. Yeah.
I was literally having a sandwich.
Of course you were.
Literally having a ham sandwich with a
Yes.
pickle on the side.
Oh, God bless you.
And and when I saw the guy, I immediately thought of the Adam West TV show
Yes.
with King Tut when he had the weird the braid that would hang off of
Yeah.
his chin.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
man. And
He
it
had the
took me back,
pharaoh, the
dude.
pharaoh beard, the pharaoh beard
Yes.
hanging there. Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like, Bruce Tim, you sly bastard.
you son of a gun.
You know? You
If we get
got
a
me
if
on
we get a
got me good on that one.
If we get a Vincent Price Eggman, I'm all in.
Oh, diabolical.
Egghead,
100%
wasn't it? Wasn't it
diabolical.
Egghead? It was Egghead, wasn't it? Not Eggman.
He played Egghead.
Yeah.
He played Egghead. Absolutely diabolical. If we get a legit Vincent Price Egghead.
It'd be awesome too if like this is just my opinion. It'd be great if they, because of the time period, it'd be great if their Riddler looks a bit like Frank Gorshin.
Oh, amazing! It'd be amazing.
I think that would be cool.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
So, keeping in theme with like the obscure and the dark, right?
Yes.
Hellboy Mike, or rather Hellboy creator Mike Mignola had mixed feelings about some of the other Hellboy movies, but thinks that this new one that's being advertised right now,
The Crooked Man, is that the one?
Crooked Man, looks amazing.
Okay.
This from the creator of Hellboy. He had mixed feelings about the prior films, and I can agree. I can agree.
I can't ever remember him actually talking about them
At all.
Maybe he didn't like them at all.
At all. Now, for the record, I am a Ron Perlman stan. I love Ron Perlman playing Hellboy.
And you love Guillermo del Toro.
And I do love Guillermo del Toro. Like Guillermo del Toro's direction and his imagination when it comes to creatures.
Yeah.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Like I would be on board to see Guillermo del Toro do a remake of The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
Take my money today.
Now.
Right now.
Do you know he was rejected from Lucasfilm because he wanted to do a Jabba the Hutt series.
And he would have ate that up.
Right?
He would have ate that up. Jabba the Hutt, like as a crime boss, like a legit alien Tony Soprano.
Right.
You owe me money, Han. You know, like
Bada bing.
Where's my money? You know. Jabba Jabba boo blah blah blah. Where's my money? You know.
Hey, bub, bub, bub. What are you doing? They gotta go. I want that soprano beginning of him driving home, but it's Jabba. Woke up this morning, got myself.
Just so good.
Oh man.
Chris says I actually have a King Tut resin kit in my studio that I need to paint.
That's incredible.
On that.
I don't think I've ever even seen anything like that ever.
Get on that, Chris.
Get on now.
Immediately.
Oh man.
So, keeping in theme with horror, right? Keeping in theme with horror.
We keep going back to gangsters all the time.
We do. So apparently, there is a new series coming to HBO Max based on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise called Fred.
Just Fred.
Just Fred.
Like you said, now, your friendly next door neighbor.
Yeah. Now get this. It's being directed by Rob Zombie.
I don't know, man. That could be hit and miss.
Okay, directed by Rob Zombie. And I think they're locked in for I think it's like 8 to 9 episodes.
Okay.
8 to 9 episodes.
I don't think they've got Robert Englund for that though, surely, because he's sort of said he's not doing it anymore.
No. He's done. He's done.
He's out
with the well, but then again, he may come back as a little cameo. He may be like, the janitor or somebody that gets killed or something.
Might do Bruce Campbell. Might do a Bruce Campbell Evil Dead kind of.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
that would actually be amazing, right? So then
I don't know, man, because he slaughtered the monsters. I couldn't deal with it. It's just terrible.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
I couldn't even watch all of it. I turned it off.
Yeah, it was.
What is this? What is this? What are you doing?
Yeah, it was horrible, right?
Yeah.
And to be fair, I understand his vision, right?
Yeah.
For what he tried to do with Halloween.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right. I get it, and I think he kind of started drinking his own Kool-Aid off of having done House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yes, yeah, and the Devil's Reject. Yeah,
and the Devil's Reject. You know what I'm saying? Like, because let's be fair, those were pretty good.
Yeah.
Those were pretty good. I don't think he was in the arena to take on, already established franchises in the horror genre.
Right.
Give us some new stuff.
Right.
Like he's it's not like he's, completely talentless. He's got talent.
Yeah.
But don't try to reimagine something that's already been done. Let's give us something fresh.
I agree.
Because like the Devil's Rejects, that movie was really disturbing. It kind of messed me up. What I mean? It really messed me up a little bit. I was like, what am I watching right now? What is this?
Yeah, it's good. And I think it's a trilogy, isn't it? If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what the third movie was. So like
I think he's just got to play to his strengths. Like he's an extreme slasher man. Like that's what his strengths are. Don't give him anything psychological. Don't give him anything, that's comedy based, like monsters. Right. Like you're better off getting a Tim Burton or someone to do that kind of stuff. Like
easily. Like that's 100% right up Tim's alley.
Yeah. Or even a Sam Raimi, like someone like that. But true. I think when you're dealing with Robbie Zombie, like he's got a certain skill set that's good, but let him create new. It's like Eli Roth doing the Thanksgiving series. That's new. He could have gone and done one of the old ones again, but he wanted to make a new franchise, holiday horror.
Right.
So He did the Thanksgiving series that's just come out. It's been a big hit. But yeah, I don't know, man. Rob Zombie, I don't know. I'm skeptical,
Yeah.
because they tried a Nightmare remake and it didn't land.
Yeah, dude. Like I don't know. But I'm willing to give him a shot, considering that, as opposed to it being a film, where he would have a compressed amount of time for development.
Yeah.
It's a series.
Right.
So in that regard, I'm willing to give him a shot and see what he comes up with.
Okay.
The bar is low.
Do
The bar is low.
you remember when
You know
they
what I
did a
mean?
series on Nightmare on Elm Street on TV, and like Freddy was hardly in it? Do you remember? Back in the 80s?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was, because it was on TV,
Yeah.
they couldn't like really lean into it,
Yeah. I
you
agree.
know? And it's like, who else is going to play Freddy? If it's not Robert Englund, it's nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard one to do because he was so iconic. It's kind of like saying, well, like with Jason and Michael, you can throw the mask on them. Like it's different. But it's like someone playing a different Norman Bates. Like it's a hard one to do, man, because the face is iconic.
Absolutely. Not so much the face, but like the voice, just the
Yeah.
mannerism. No one can play Freddy like Robert.
The walk, like the walk where
Exactly.
he
He
hunches
had
the shoulders and makes himself lean and has the extended arms. It's a certain way of doing it. You really see it in that first one when he's in the second one where he's kind of
Mhm.
really sort of he leans back from his hips and he becomes really elongated looking. You know,
Yes. Yes.
there's the creepiness to him that way.
Yeah, no one can do it like Robert. That like I saw the one that came out in the 2000s,
Oh, yep.
right? And it was okay.
That was the last. Was that the last Wes Craven one?
That was yeah, I believe so.
Where it's almost like it's
That it,
a it's meta
that it-
like Scream where you
oh no, you're talking about the Final Nightmare.
yeah.
I'm talking about the one with the actor that played Rorschach,
Oh yeah, the remake, yeah.
the
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah.
Right? I saw that one, and and even he, great actor, great
Yeah.
actor, and yes, I love the premise because it was kind of like Freddy's origin. I
Yeah.
dig it, right? Because they
Yeah.
didn't go into too much of that in the
No.
film franchise, but I don't think it landed for me,
Yeah.
because I still like can't see anyone outside of Robert playing that role.
Right. Now if that had been a movie that had made and we didn't know anything about Robert England, it would have been okay.
Right.
But
You know?
because we know Robert and he's so iconic.
Yeah, because even the way he trolls the victims,
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah, he's a creep.
I don't even think like that actor trolled anybody in that latest movie.
No.
He played it totally straight.
Yeah.
Robert like trolls the victims. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like that's
Yes,
part of
exactly.
like Freddy's charm.
And just quickly, Chris Borman says, Kenny, you've got mail.
Yes, and yeah, I wanted to wrap up what we were talking about with regards to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So Chris, this looks great. This looks great. I sent it over to you, Will, so
Okay.
you can check out what
Where
Chris is
else?
talking about. That's
I'll have a
really
look
nice.
I'll have a look while you read the next one. Let me just have a look. See.
Yeah, this is a really really nice piece, Chris. I'm looking forward to seeing what you would do with that. So.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, man.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's cool. Look at the sandals. King Tut.
Right? His little samples. NYC Flicks. Thanks for dropping in on the stream, homie.
Yeah, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome. So in the realm of, I guess, like streaming shows and comic news and
Yeah.
movies, right? Jensen Ackles, right, whom you probably may know from the Supernatural
Yep.
TV show that used to
I
air on
do.
CW. Love that
Yes.
show, right? He
Great
plays
car.
Soldier Boy on The Boys. He
Yep.
voiced the Red Hood, and underneath the Red Hood, the animated film.
Yes.
He is confirmed to be playing the lead role in Ghost Rider.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
He's going to be our new Ghost Rider. Now,
Thank God, that's going to be great. But
it has not been confirmed whether he's going to be reprising Johnny Blaze.
Ooh, Danny Ketch.
He could be Danny Ketch.
Yeah, that was my Ghost Rider. I've got all of them, all the Danny Ketch ones, number one up. But because my dad was a big Ghost Rider guy. Like as soon as I get an issue, dad always read it first. But so Danny Ketch might be a good one, and he's also doing Soldier Boy standalone series.
Yes, so that could be fun, right?
Yeah.
And finally, there was CBR had released a list of characters to be confirmed that are confirmed rather for season 2 of X-Men 97.
Ooh, is there any surprises?
A few actually, right?
Yeah.
Well, for anyone who already seen season 1, you already know Apocalypse is going to be in season 2, right?
They've been building for that.
Given, right? That wasn't like a big surprise, right?
Yeah.
But among Apocalypse, we have Warlock from the New Mutants.
Oh, yep, from the New Mutants. Yes.
All right, that I'm excited to see because I think the only time we've seen Warlock was in the OG series in '97.
They had a New Mutants TV series that didn't last very long. I think he was kind of in that for a bit too, wasn't he?
You know what? You're right. Yes. So Warlock, Apocalypse, Lady Deathstrike.
Oh yes, okay. So that's a nice anti-Wolverine.
Yeah. So I think we're going to be leaning into some Wolverine lore coming into season 2.
That'd be cool.
Sabretooth.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get some Sabretooth and Danger. Danger is the female Sentinel.
Right.
The female Sentinel. So, we're not done with the Sentinels yet.
Do you think we're going to get to Extinction Agenda?
Oof. I hope so.
Because they kind of lent towards that with the islands going up, and
that's right.
They're kind of leaning towards that Extinction Agenda stuff.
True.
Which my boys are reading that at the moment. They're reading my trade on Extinction Agenda.
Excellent.
They're all over that.
Well, Bo DeMaio, he confirmed that for season 1 he pulled from some key X-Men storylines.
Nice.
So I think that we haven't seen the last of Gambit. It's my theory that Gambit comes back as the Horseman of Death.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I feel like it's confirmed more so now that we get a little bit of Apocalypse in the last episode.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time before we get the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, and seeing that we get some Sabretooth and some Lady Deathstrike, I feel like we're gonna get some hardcore like Wolverine lore.
Right. You think they'll obviously go to Weapon X, of course, but I always loved his early stuff, before that.
No,
that's going to be good. But I'm waiting for the day, just like I'm waiting for my Kingdom Come to be made somewhere. I'm waiting for the Inferno series.
If only.
They've got to do it.
They got to.
I mean, in terms of events, that's a no-brainer.
That one, Onslaught.
Yep.
I feel like we might get a little bit of an Onslaught Easter egg, right?
Yeah.
Polaris was also confirmed.
Oh, now that'd be good. I like Polaris.
Was also confirmed.
What about my boys, the Reavers? Are they going to be in it?
Ooh, not yet.
I love the Reavers.
Not yet. The Reavers would be awesome, though. I
They're
feel
my
like,
favorite.
well, if they really lean into the Wolverine stuff, the
Yeah.
Reavers are eminent.
Yeah. Maybe get a bit of Australia. That'd be awesome.
Little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
We already got Mohawk Storm, and now we're getting Classic Storm.
Indeed.
It's eminent.
Exciting. Chris Borman says, as a bit of a previous topic, when I see Freddy Krueger, I always remember him as the nerdy alien on V. Yeah, Willie. What's his name?
Yes. Yes.
Willie.
That series scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it. I was actually just thinking about that show the other day. I don't know where I could find it. It'd be good to watch again.
You know what? I think that you could watch the whole series on YouTube.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because hey, was he
curiosity.
The main actor? Was he Beastmaster?
No. Wait, hold on. Don't quote me on that. Let's ask Google. Let's ask Google.
Where's Corvette? Corvette.
Yes. Where is Corvette? Let's see. Beast.
I want to say he was Beastmaster.
Beastmaster film.
We were just talking about that the other day too, weren't we?
That's right. That's right.
Synchronicities happening everywhere.
That was Mark Singer. Singer. Man, that was him. That was him.
Oh, it was him.
It was him. Man, he's aged badly.
Yes.
Jesus. Jesus.
The 80s were not kind in the end.
Nah.
I always used to get, when I was a kid, I used to get them confused. I used to get him and MacGyver always confused. Richard Dean Anderson. I was always like, same colored mullet,
I would get him confused with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. What?
I would confuse.
Oh, man.
Because it's like I would see him on V, but like I could also see him as Footloose.
I suppose it's that spiky, out of control hair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always had that out of control hair. That was the one thing my dad always noticed when we'd be watching. Dad goes, "Look at the hair. What's going on with the hair?"
Yeah.
The hair's that from Mr. 1950s dad, Mr. Conservative. What's going on with the hair? It's out of control. You can't control that hair. That's what he always say when he see Kevin Bacon. What's going on with that hair? It's all over the place. He doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
This comes from the man with the pocket comb. Yeah, the pocket comb always.
He's got to keep it high and tight.
This guy, my dad, used to get up at like 5 a.m. He'd comb his hair and go back to bed. So when he woke up, people thought, "Wow, look at that."
Yeah, I woke up like this.
It's like, what do you mean you woke up like that? Like, you even had the quiff on the sides. The quiff. Like, what's going on there? The little wings. You had the wings, like the guy from Sopranos. The quiffed wings.
Oh man.
What was that guy's name? Was it Frankie? I want to say it's Frankie.
In what now?
In Sopranos. Remember the guy with the
Yeah. Nah, I know who you're talking about. Hold on.
What was his name in the show though? I'm trying to think.
The Sopranos. That he passed away recently.
Yeah, just a couple of years ago. Same year as
he was Paul.
Hey?
That was Paulie.
Paulie, that's it.
Paulie.
I love Paulie.
Yeah.
He was my favorite.
He passed away in 2022.
Right. He passed away the same year as the guy from Goodfellas, the boss.
That's right.
Paulie.
Also Paulie.
Yeah. Paul Savino.
Yep.
Oh
Chris
man.
Borman says, "What people were there to see him wake up with perfect hair?"
Yeah, just us. Like, was just keeping the illusion going that he looked like he'd stepped out of a shower 24/7.
Dad's hair is amazing.
Look at that. He's got a glow. Why does he smell like aftershave at 7 in the morning? Like, what's going on?
Oh man.
Look, the 80s were a confusing time. If you know, you know. If you know,
That's right. If you know, you know. That seems to be tonight's theme. If you know, you know.
If I have to explain it to you, you weren't there.
That's it.
Oh, too funny.
But yeah, that's all I got this week for popular culture stuff.
That's the news.
That is the news for this week.
That was a lot. That was good.
Yeah,
I've been waiting.
Every time I come across something interesting, I jot it down.
Yeah.
And I sit on it, until we're on stream and I can share it with the masses.
Yes, with the crowd.
Love it. We can chat about it a little bit and get some feedback and some opinions and such.
Love that. Yes. And meanwhile, I've been so distracted with the news. I'm just looking at how much you've done on the costume already. That's flying along.
I'm flying a little bit. To be fair, I'm using a very, very thin glaze. I'm not going really, really heavy.
Right.
But I'm borrowing your technique.
Yes.
Dropping in some of these heavier tones in the armor.
Yep. That's good. There's a nice gold effects there. I like the one you did on that straight leg. That looks nice. That's a nice.
This one here, the 5.
Yeah, man, that feels good. That's good.
I'm trying to get that soft. You know how when we have a round shape. I'm trying to get that soft kind of highlight.
You've got it.
With the thigh kind of poking out.
That looks good. You've got it. That's great.
Chris Borman says, Kenny, your opinion on the season finale of House of Dragons. Listen, let me tell you something. The wife and I sat up to watch it. And listen. Something that you guys got to understand about my fiance. All right, my lovely, lovely fiance, Melissa, if you're watching, I love you. Okay, right?
It always worried me when you did the preamble.
Something that you guys got to know about my fiance. She is very, very picky when it comes to the shows that she likes to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very picky. So when she's excited about a show, she goes all in.
Right.
Right. That at first she wasn't big on a lot of high fantasy shows. She can't watch Lord of the Rings, but when I put her on to, Game of Thrones, for example,
she's all about it.
Right. At first she was a little reluctant, but what happened was when we were still dating and she would come and see me in the studio and kind of hang out with me, I would play Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she got into it.
Nice. Yeah.
To the point where she started watching it on her own just to kind of catch up.
Yeah.
Because it was around the time that we were dating more or less around the time that the last 2 seasons were in development.
Yeah.
So she jumped, she went straight from the beginning and then caught up. She binged it.
Yeah.
Right. So since then, I've put her on to Sopranos, for example. She binged Sopranos, right?
It's a good one to binge. It's long though. That's a big.
You talking about Teela?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
I appreciate that, Chris. That's what the challenge is all about, dude. We want to try and push the limits of the skills, with every piece.
Yeah.
And she was like that with Sopranos. Then she started it was opening up a Pandora's box. She started looking for
Sopranos is a big watch.
Sopranos is a big watch, and she got into that lore deep.
Yeah.
Deep. And she finished watching it just in time for that movie that came out
Oh
after
yeah.
Gandolfini
About
passed away, that his son
yep.
played
Yep.
Tony Soprano.
Yes.
She finished it just in time to catch that,
Yeah.
while everybody was on lockdown.
It's a hard watch.
So then, yeah. So then, she got into the Last Kingdom,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Of all things, like I wouldn't have
Yeah.
expected her to get into the Last Kingdom. She got into that.
Yep.
Then she got into the Peaky Blinders.
Oh right. Yeah.
Peaky Blinders is her show, dude. Like she
Yeah.
loves that show.
Yeah.
So when House of the Dragon was announced, she's like, "Oh man, Game of
She's
Thrones
there.
is back." You
Yeah.
know, Sunday nights are back.
Yeah.
Because for a while we didn't have anything to watch.
Right.
So we had all of this buildup. Now, Melly is one of those individuals that, for a show that she is like really into and watches religiously, and she'll stay off the socials so that nothing gets spoiled.
Right.
Fast forward to this season's last episode. I felt like there was all this buildup. There was all this buildup to like this epic battle. That
Yep.
like the episode prior had like more action, more intrigue, and than
Right.
the season finale.
Right.
And then it's like, like as the armies are rallying, as like everybody's getting organized and dropping
Yeah.
in formation, the dragons are lining up.
Yeah.
They roll credits.
You have to wait 2 years.
You have to wait 2 years. Yo,
See ya.
listen, let me tell you, it was complete silence in this room
Yeah.
when the credits rolled.
You're like, what?
Listen, like she let it sit for a whole 15-30 seconds before she said, "Oh no, oh no,
You did it, didn't you?
no,
Yeah,
that can't be it." And sure enough, the socials were on fire the following day.
right.
Right, with all the disappointment. Now, to be fair, that is the mark of good writing. That is the mark of a good show. Yes, you want to keep your audience wanting more.
Right.
Right. It's like how they did in the OG Game of Thrones. Where Jon Snow was believed to be dead.
Yeah.
Because he got like stockpiled and like
Yes. I remember.
in that big battle, right?
Yeah.
And then they end the season around this, and now you got to wait to see if he actually is still breathing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a little bit of a cop out to end it there. I felt like they could have extended that final episode just a bit.
Yeah.
So that we can see the first volley of the war.
Yeah.
And then end the episode. So now it's like, so now you're like hyped, because I can almost guarantee that when the new season starts, that first episode of the new season, no one's gonna fight. No one's gonna fight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit of exposition.
Yeah.
It's more of the build up without the release. We got blue ball. Chris Morgan says exactly. They advertised it as an epic season finale. They don't know the meaning of the word epic. Exactly.
Boom.
Exactly. Melly was so disappointed.
Yep.
You're
doing the big circles on the back, trying to comfort her, like. It's all right. I get it. They don't know what epic is. Chris Borman said, honey, they don't know what epic is. All right. She's like, who's Chris? And he said, listen, Chris said that. He knows.
It's Chris. He knows.
He knows the way. He's doing a King Tut sculpture.
That's right. It's Chris.
It's Chris. This is a Borman.
But yeah, dude, that's what I feel. I mean, I know that the new season is gonna pay it off, in a big, big way. Because for all this build up, like I need at least 3 episodes of just war and blood.
Listen,
I need at least 3 episodes of just dragons going at it.
Dear HBO, dear HBO, I know you've got a writing team, but I just want war for 3 episodes. Can we just
give me blood and war for 3 episodes?
I want Mortal Kombat on screen. That's what I want. 3 episodes. Okay, with Dragon.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more, a little less incest, a little bit more war. Can we have a bit of that?
Yes. Less incest, more war.
Perfect.
Indeed. So how are you doing over there, Will?
I'm just putting in the flesh tones. I've finished the legs.
Okay.
So that was a tricky one. Just trying to get the turning of that leg on the top there.
Okay.
So that's done now. When that's dry, I might come in with a little bit more blues and burnt sienna just to give it a little bit more bronzing. Yep. But I do want to keep the inner part of her legs fairly pale, and then to push that back a bit. And I might do a little bit of highlights on this leg that's locked in. That knee's locked in there. Yeah. Just to get that strength. But yeah, now I'm just doing just finishing off her arm here. Then I'm going to start on the costume. So, or maybe Battle Ram. Ooh. I'm excited to do Battle Ram.
Yes, I'm excited to see what you do with that because, you don't typically do a lot of tech.
No, and I've even got the little sticker on there from the toy, that little weird lizard thing on the side here. So I'll do the Battle Ram. I might even do this sort of glowing inside of the jets here, where it's like hot steel from when it was just cooling down.
Yeah,
a bit of that, and do the hair, the sword. Got a bit to do yet. Got a bit of blocking into this.
Oh yeah, no. This I feel like this one, even just on a technical aspect, it's gonna be a bit more like it's gonna take a bit longer than the previous ones because and you'd be surprised, right? Because it's like she's such a simple character, right? In design, right? But it's like aesthetically, you wanna get all of those little like nuances with the lighting correct.
Right. And it's like, it's not like you're dealing with a character that's got a hard face. Like, you can get away with a merman or a beast man where you can get really chiseled whenever you're doing soft angles. Because even though she's a warrior, you still want there to be a softness to her as well.
Of course.
So you're constantly working on those round shapes to keep the transition between colors and as soft. So it just takes a bit of time, It's kind of like the difference between drawing an old man and a young boy. Like you're going to be working those transitions a lot differently. But that's part of making it look convincing, isn't it?
Yes,
that's part of the journey.
That it is. So I think today I'm gonna kind of render as much as I can of the gold.
Yeah.
Right. So that on my next pass, I go back into the skin.
Yep.
And sort of pull out some cooler tones in like the shaded areas.
Yep.
I hit some whites in here.
Right.
When I want to totally settle.
Right.
I'm gonna do the sword. I got her crown. I could fill in her hair color.
Yeah, you can put a base tone for that.
You can put a base tone for the hair and the boots. What color are her boots?
She's hang on, I'm gonna bring up the reference. Here we go.
Let's take a look. Brown boots, white pelt.
With the white with the white pelted creature. Look at that cool original one on the left. He's even got white gauntlets.
Yes.
I kind of like that.
That is a good look.
Yeah. That's very cool, actually. And she's got the white gauntlets on the animated series too.
Yeah.
And on the original Mark Taylor drawing. I'm starting to think maybe I'll go with the white gauntlet.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done any of the gold bits yet.
Okay. Yeah, you can. Go with the. Just
mix
it up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get the big brush and get some of this ochre in it.
So I've been watching the series on Amazon, and those are about to die, the Gladiator series.
Ooh.
With Anthony Hopkins.
Okay.
It's good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one episode away from finishing the season. But it's been really good. Yeah.
What's the vibe of the show like? What's it like?
So it's like a mix between I don't know if you watch these series on TV, but Rome and Spartacus.
Yes.
It's like
I ran
those
through
series,
all of Spartacus,
but with a really big budget. And it set a couple of emperors past what you had in Marcus Aurelius in Gladiator. So you're dealing with a few, like we're talking Julius Caesar's long gone,
right?
So you deal with a changing of the guard in terms of leadership, but your typical story of the two brothers: one's a soldier, one's a politician.
Mm-hmm.
So who gets the rightful ruling position? But then you've got all those undercurrent stories as well. But some really good characters in it. It focuses a lot on the chariot racing.
Oh, okay.
Like it's got that real Ben-Hur action scenes in the ring, which is really cool.
Nice.
So I recommend it. Give it a good watch.
No, I'll give it a watch because I loved Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
Yeah.
Like all of those shows. I'm actually really, really looking forward to House of Asher when they bring Spartacus back.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I can't wait for the Gladiator film at the end of the year. I think that's going to be a killer.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, I've been really pleased. I've sort of been binging it the last week, sort of in between doing things.
Yeah,
it's been an easy watch. It's been nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give it a watch.
Some great insight into female gladiators too, and the Beastmasters, the actual Beastmaster.
Not the guy that you know what? I'm not going to talk to all the animals. I'm just going to talk to these two ferrets.
Yes.
The bird.
Right. Well, it talks about some of those African tribesmen that would capture the lions and the rhinos and the tigers. So that was really cool.
That's interesting.
And a lot of it's just a lot about not so much the politics. You don't hear much about that, but it's very much the ruling family, and then you've got the people rising up through the ranks. Really cool. Some great Colosseum scenes. I think that's been fantastic.
I like that.
Yeah,
I do like that.
Like things that Gladiator didn't touch on, like in the old days when Rome would flood the Colosseum to have battles of water and things like that. Yeah. Right. Stuff like that. Yeah, very cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll check it out. I saw the ad for it when I was binging The Boys, the new season of The Boys.
Oh yeah. I'm curious to hear what you think of that. Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, it's The Empire Strikes Back for The Boys.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the vibe that it gave me.
Yeah.
So I'm more so looking forward to the next season now.
Yeah.
I feel like
what is the fate of Bill Butcher?
Indeed. That indeed. Because now he's got the tentacle monster living inside of him, and the killer sheep were fantastic.
You like that, did you?
The killer sheep were fantastic. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's one of the reasons why I faithfully kept watching Doom Patrol.
All right, yeah.
because Doom Patrol would like feature a lot of those like nonsensical. I mean, it's obviously deep cut characters from the
Weird mixes.
comics,
Yeah.
but to see the I guess the courage to bring them into the show,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
For sure.
that made it all worthwhile.
Yeah. Indeed.
So I'll definitely check it out. I mean,
Yeah, they
while
make interesting choices in that show, like because you're not invested in them like Superman or Batman. So it's interesting to see what they
right.
do with some of those characters.
I did like that they brought in a lot of like golden age deep cut characters.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah.
and they even like Easter egged their comic outfits.
Yes.
I think it was a really well written show.
Yeah.
It had like the right amount of wacky,
Right.
and a decent amount of drama.
Yeah.
It, it
Nice twist with Starlight and the villain.
yeah,
I thought that was good.
yeah.
Yeah, some good stuff. And Homelanders always makes a good crazy, that actor, the Australian guy. It's like you don't have those kind of side glances unless you're a little bit anyway, like he's in there.
Exactly.
You can see underneath all of it, maybe the cheese has slid off the cracker. Like he's in there, he's a little bit loose. I love those.
Off the cracker.
Oops. Like I've seen those little memes going around where they have shots of him at Comic-Con and he's must be frustrated or something, but it's in between people visiting him or seeing him, and he has that look. I thought, oh, there we are. There we go. It's in there. It's in there. A little bit of cray bubbling away under there.
I think the fact that the actor doesn't have an upper lip,
that's always helpful. Yeah,
like adds to the crazy look in his face.
Yes, the thin lips and the aged eyes.
He's got the aged eyes and like no upper lip,
wrinkly, a little bit watery, a little bit red and watery, bit sore. Had enough.
Yeah,
sick of acting with Meg Ryan's son. Like this is what I'm doing now. Never liked superheroes. Like, mildly annoyed. Probably realised this might be the only gig I ever get.
I'm wondering though if they'll bring back the spin-off show Gen Z. Did you see Gen Z?
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah, I was surprised I enjoyed it. I went into it going, this is going to be crap, but actually it was all right. I enjoyed it.
It was. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
because I've heard a few different little rumors. About how they're going to ultimately introduce the X-Men equivalent.
All right.
Of the I guess like the team that's kind of like the X-Men of the boys.
Right.
They're going to bring them into the show, but I don't remember if they were going to bring them in on like the mainline show or introduce them on season 2 of Gen Z.
Right. Because they kind of made a little bit of an appearance as the hunting down the boys, didn't they, in the series in this last season? Yeah. I thought that was interesting. It's because I don't know what the future of these guys are. They've all been splintered now, haven't they? The group.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big time. So we'll see where it goes from here, I guess. It's gonna have to. I suppose it was probably time to bring something new in.
They'd have to.
Because some of those characters have played out a bit.
Just a bit. I mean, I did enjoy the Web Weaver segment.
Yeah.
That was good. The Web Weaver segment. You know, I'm not going to go into specifics to, you know, I don't want to spoil it for anybody that's watching, but that was good stuff. That was good stuff.
It's hard to watch.
It was definitely hard to watch, but
they're interrogating him. He's just all over the place. Oh.
That was good stuff.
Jesus.
You know,
crazy. What was that guy's name that was like the Batman that had the special basement? Remember? He went down there.
That was Tech Knight.
Tech Knight. That was an interesting twist for him as well.
Tech Knight.
Yeah. It's always mildly disturbing, some of the directions he's going.
100%. 100%.
What are we watching now?
100%.
It kind of reminds me of that comic that came out in about 2010, I think it was. And it was about the Superman type character that it just corrupts him completely. And he just can't control himself, you know, like it goes to that rated R level on everything, you know. The power just corrupted him, the ability to do anything at any time.
You remember what it was called?
It was like, I want to say it was something like God's Walked Among Us or something like that. It was, but
yes.
Yeah, I think it came out around about the same time as The Boys. It was an indie comic.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up now. So, what's happening with comic news? Any word on the street?
None yet. I mean, let's see. We're in August. That means that the artist edition for Batman Year One is on the shelf.
Yep.
They would have blown up the Fortress of Solitude and Superman.
Is it?
There's
the key now. There's the key sitting.
Yeah, it's just the key with no door.
No one can lift it.
There was something else. There was something else from my earlier notes when I would talk about the pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
That was happening this summer, but that's really it. I mean, you know, your standard canon stuff. Well, it's the absolute universe now in DC.
Oh, that's
interesting. Where they're sort of making Batman a working class man.
Oh, okay.
Right. You've probably seen it. It's like that chunky, like he looks really big.
Right.
It's Batman, but like it almost looks like Frank Miller's rendition of Batman.
He was very thick, the old Frank Miller one.
Yeah, it's like a very thick version of Batman.
Yeah.
Right, like Frank Miller-esque in the body, but like in the head, it's very Tim Sale.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the Frank Miller one always reminded me a bit of a mix between Bruce Wayne and Frank Castle.
Right.
It was that real kind of thick, dark eye sets, you know. Very much a similar sort of style that he had with those. Yeah, that's interesting. I might actually have a look. It sounds like an interesting direction.
It looks really good. They've saying that it's going to be like DC's Ultimate Universe.
Right.
They're also bringing back the Ultimates in Marvel.
Okay. Right. So quick question then. So are they running the standard books, or is it just this new reset?
No, they're running the standard books.
All right. So what is this new set called again?
Absolute. It's the Absolute Universe.
Okay. All right. I have to check it out.
So it's like a new spin on. Obviously, they're going to start with the Trinity.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the one that made like the biggest noise was Batman, because he it's such a big departure.
Yeah. It's a rich boy. Yeah.
Right. He's a blue collar working class guy that makes his own gadgets.
Ah, so he's Bruce Springsteen Batman.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Blue jeans and rock and
Yeah.
roll. Yeah.
And the cowl. You know,
The
that's
cow.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that might be interesting. Like, I mean, the whole point of Batman was he could fund his own problems. Like,
Right.
what's he do when he can't fund it?
But see, now making him like a working class guy that can make his own stuff, no one's gonna ask questions.
He's gonna no. There's no Timu shipping guy going. Wait,
That's right.
it's all going to the same address. Right? And no Alfred, unless he's some weird Uncle Alfred.
No, there is an Alfred, and Alfred looks like he's I'll send you the character sheets.
Yeah,
because they put the character sheets up on Instagram.
Right.
For Absolute Batman, and Alfred looks like a war vet.
Oh right, okay, nice.
Yeah, he looks like he looks like this like surly, disgruntled like war vet.
Yeah, awesome.
So it could be a fun dynamic, right?
Interesting.
To see them sort of like go back and forth.
I had to explain to my kids the other day, like what we grew up with. Every film we watched just about was this ex-Vietnam vet turned mercenary or fortuneer.
Mm-hmm.
Just got back from Nam. Like he's got a history in Nam. Like everyone, the Vietnam War was just so heavy, wasn't it, in the 80s?
Of course, it was one of the more prevalent events.
Yeah,
you know,
social changer.
It's like you know the most common enemy in an action movie back in the 80s was almost always Russian.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Was almost always a Russian guy or a Russian faction.
Yep.
And then going into the 90s, it was almost always Middle Eastern.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah.
You know, they formulate these stereotypes based on whatever's like prevalent in that decade, I guess.
Era, yeah. All right, I think I'm done on the Flash for today. So that's start. So now I'm just gonna might whack a bit in the boots while we've got a little bit more time up our sleeves, and then we're nearly at the 2-hour mark.
Okay. Yes, indeed. No, I'm gonna drop the fill for the staff, the fill for the sword, and then I'm gonna let it set because, like, to kind of unify everything.
Yeah.
I want to do that with my shadows.
Give the paper a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Indeed. I'm gonna mix up some copper tone brown.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know how that is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
For those playing at home, first time listeners, long time callers, we're gonna do burnt umber, Prussian blue, black, and white to get our copper tone brown.
Bam.
That's how it is. That just happened. That just happened.
If you know, you know.
I'll teach it to you, but it's inborn. It's inborn. You just gotta know it.
Copper tone brown.
Copper tone brown. That's the real stuff. The stuff that dreams are made.
I'm telling you. That I'm gonna use some of it on the tree bark.
Yes. A bit more Prussian blue in there with the burnt umber. You get some nice copper tone brown.
Beautiful.
All right. And that, maybe a little bit of burnt sienna in there just to rich it up a bit. See what happens. See what happens with that.
Nice. Very nice.
Lovely. This will be a nice base coat for the underneath of her gauntlets and, if I'm correct, in just her boots. I think is that the only brown areas on her?
Right.
I think so.
Yeah, it's the boots and maybe some edges of her hair.
Yeah, she's got a leather like a leather glove that goes underneath the metal gauntlet on the inside. I'm going to throw that in too. I had to figure that out because I can see underneath of her arm.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of work on that bit. So what I'm doing is just overlap. I overlap slightly the fur on the leg, and then I'll come over the top of that to get a nice clean edge when I do the fur. So I bring it in a bit.
Nice.
And then I overlap it the other way. Good thing about the copper tone brown is because it's already got blue in that pigment, you can use it nicely. It reacts nicely with the reflected light. You just add a bit more blue to it, a little white to it. You get some nice reflected light tones.
Nice.
Because it cools it down because it's already existing within the mixture.
Right.
This you know.
And knowing's half the battle.
It is. What's Chris saying? It's the color of presidential depends. Yes. I still can't get that out of my head. It's just there. That is my own Vietnam. I wake up screaming.
And it's facts. It's a huge fact.
Yeah, it could cost
pretty
election.
Well known.
Is it really well known?
It is, dude. Like,
or are people forgetting it?
No, it's pretty well known. I mean, like, he's still kind of being trolled about it. He ignores it.
Yeah,
like he doesn't ever address it anywhere.
Well, right? It'd be a hard thing to say, I imagine.
Of course.
Of course. How do you address that?
But it's like, and they've been like when he was in the court, when he was on trial, you know, that like someone from the trial was live tweeting like the smell, you know, the sounds, right? The pictures of the attorneys, like the attorneys had to rotate who sat next to him.
I remember you saying that.
Okay, they had to rotate who sat next to him. All right, because it was they were in like, you know, that ozone of
yes
of whatever he's been expelling, right?
Zone of peripheral damage.
Yes. You know, and then that opened up a whole like floodgate of people that used to work on The Apprentice.
Oh no!
That
no one
up
said
like
anything till now.
Yes, right. Of people that like were working with him on The Apprentice, and like how on The Apprentice it was the same thing.
Even in that boardroom, that's rough. In the boardroom,
yeah, dude. Like he had a person that would change him, like a designated changing person.
I'm sure we addressed this when we talked about it, but that's a hard thing to talk about in your resume.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, that's a hard thing to go back at Christmas time with your family and go, what'd you do this year, son? Well, I got this job. I picked up this gig. It's got potential to be something, but yeah.
It's a crappy job.
I need Mike Rowe talking about dirty jobs while I'm there. You know, it's right up there.
It's a really crappy job. You don't want to know.
You don't want to know, man. Yes, my hands are red from washing all the time. All right, I've got my own conditions. Got my PTSD.
You don't want to know.
Yeah, Mama, you don't want to. Starts crying. Starts crying at the dinner table.
So much poo. I
can't even talk about
it. So much poo. So much.
Starts crying. Gets triggered when they pass the gravy. Just can't. Runs out the room. That real messy run, you know, the legs flailing everywhere. That messy run out the room.
It's just so much poo. It won't stop.
Trying to wash it off. This guy won't come off.
Sitting in the shower in the fetal position, shower
like
running.
Like the crying game shower. All the clothes burning in the middle of the room. I just bought those for you. You didn't even wear them on the job. Like, it's in my nose. I can't unsmell it.
So much poo.
He's such a big man. His meals are extravagant. Oh, man. How did we get onto that? Was that you? Did you do that time?
No, that was Chris. See,
damn you, Chris.
Chris has been the delinquent.
Chris is baiting us. That's what he's doing.
Today, Chris has been the one to like. He's in the back seat and he's jerking the wheel off to the to the right for us to go off road.
He's the player and the player hater.
All Chris. All Chris.
So Chris. Oh man. So I'm just whacking in that undercoat of this brown, and it'll come through and lighten it up. I believe.
I'm adding a bit of the copper tone brown to this boot.
God bless.
Nice little terminal line down the center of the boot.
Yes.
So we get a nice little curvy illusion on the silhouette of our leg.
Nice.
And do the same thing here.
You got quite the point on that shoe, man. That's a Widowmaker, that one.
Oh, yeah.
That'll delete you. You'll be deleted. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, yes. my mom used to call shoes that pointy roach killers because you could kill them in the corner.
You wouldn't even need to try.
You kill them right in the corner. Like
a light lean. Just a light
That's
lean. A light lean.
Oh, yeah.
No cheese coming off the cracker with that one. It's just no effort at all.
No cheese coming off the cracker. I'm going to use that.
You dropped nothing in the process of that one.
Copper tone brown.
Too funny.
All right.
If we ever release our own set of paints, we're going to have to make sure it's on a number one.
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's got to be on the box now, featuring copper tone brown.
I think we just come up with all of our own names and colors based upon.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Corn cob yellow.
That's it.
Yes.
Flemulet, umber.
Yes. Yeah. Off meds green. Off the meds green.
Oh man. Off the meds. If you know, you know.
What about meh purple?
Man purple. Yes. I love it. Man purple.
Park brake handle ivory black.
Yes. Okay. So like I threw a little bit of a wash of the copper tone in key areas and
Chris. He's doing it again.
He's doing it again. See, Chris, today was Chris. Today was Chris. Chris is on one today. Okay, that gave me a nice little mute. Nice little cool down. Oh, we lost Will. His phone probably got too hot. Oh, but it shouldn't be too hot because like it's like winter right now in Australia. Let's give him a couple minutes before for Will to pop back in. In the meantime, I'm gonna drop in some of these lovely little shadows as we near the 2.5 hour mark. Pull some of these shadows out on the inside of her thigh. Get that nice and cool. That I find one of the more satisfying parts of painting these characters is the shape language that you can convey very subtly with the right paint mixture, right? And because I wanted to feel like she's standing in sort of like a mossy sort of like jungle terrain, right? Where there's very limited sunlight. Just soften the edge of that shadow just a bit. Blend that into her skin tone. And that should be good. Like I was saying before, like because I wanted to feel like she's in like a jungle terrain, right? A lot of where she's going to be standing, this branch that I had behind her, it's going to be painted in cooler tones because I wanted to feel like there's very limited sunlight, in this particular area. So there'll be certain parts of her armor that will reflect that light, and I'll be pulling out the high tones of her skin, with respect to where my light source is coming from. All right, so let's give Will a chance to pop back in. He's probably having some technical difficulties. Because I'm reaching the point where I can't do much more today. Because I'm going to have to give my paper a little bit of a rest. I don't want to overwork it. And then we'll resume next week. So all I'm doing right now is just smoothing out some of the edges of where I placed my shadows. I think I can block in the staff and then call that. Okay, Will just messaged me and he says, ooh, I guess the internet dropped over by him. So with that, I think we will wrap it. We'll cap it right there at the what is that? The 2 hour and 10 minute mark. I want to personally thank everybody that popped in on the stream tonight. Will and I greatly appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us, and joining in on the conversation. Although a lot of what we talk about can get real nonsensical, and we Will and I end up giggling like schoolgirls instead of painting. But we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Once again, you can find Will on all social platforms at Art of Will Playden. And you can find me on all social platforms under Wild Inks Studios, as you see it there on the screen, or Wild Inks Ken, right? Separated by underscores. Yes. So as you can see, Will chimes in via YouTube to say his goodbyes. So once again, we appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us, and we'll see you again next week. Be good.